right after Trump makes the announcement of the peace treaty, then Biden comes out and says he takes credit for it. So President Biden takes credit for the Israel-Hamas hostage agreement, which happened to come together just days before Trump takes office. Yes, Biden is the reason it came together, with a clown emoji. So when a reporter asked Biden who deserves credit for the deal, Biden replied, "Is that a joke?" Just last week, Trump threatened that all hell will break loose if the deal was not finished before he took office. So here we go right here.
Thank you.
Who takes credit for this, Mr. President, you or Trump?
Is that a joke? Oh, thank you.
If those hostages aren't back, I don't want to hurt your negotiation. If they're not back by the time I get into office, all hell will break out in the Middle East. And it will not be good for Hamas, and it will not be good, frankly, for anyone. All hell will break out. I don't have to say anymore, but that's what it is.
And of course, that's exactly what's happened. And now Joe Biden has tried to take credit, but his own Department of Justice said this right here.
To the involvement of President-elect Trump's team, it has been absolutely critical in getting this deal over the line. And it's been critical because obviously, as I stand here today, this administration's term in office will expire in 5 days. And one of the things that we have always said about this deal is that when you get from stage 1 to stage 2, that the United States, Egypt, and Qatar are the guarantors of this deal. And Egypt and Qatar will push Hamas to stay at the bargaining table and to get from stage 1 to stage 2. And the United States will push Israel to stay at the bargaining table to get from phase 1 and phase 2. So obviously, those are promises we cannot make on behalf of the United States for any longer than the next 5 days. And so it's critical that all of the parties to the agreement and the other mediators see that when the United States is in the room making commitments, those are lasting commitments that extend beyond this administration into the next one. I would just say, lastly, I don't know if it's unprecedented to have envoys from an outgoing and an incoming administration sitting at the same table negotiating a ceasefire agreement of this kind. But if it's not unprecedented, it's certainly unusual. And we, of course, thank the Trump team for working with this on this ceasefire agreement. We think it's important that they were at the table. And
so, of course, this is an embarrassment for the Biden administration. We know that. But the whole entire 4 years is an embarrassment for the Biden administration. I mean, Joe Biden will go down as one of, if not the worst presidents in history. And that reflects directly on Barack Obama. I know there's still a lot of people that try to say Obama was a decent president. Obama was a terrible president. Obama did more damage to this country than any president in my lifetime. And Obama is solely the person that was pulling the strings for the Biden administration as well. This was Barack Obama's third term. That's what this was. Obama did so much damage to our country that it's hard to even try and quantify just how bad it was. It was absolutely awful. And we're still dealing with it. I mean, all of this identity politics and all this other bullshit, that is because of Barack Obama, 100%. He pushed all of that stuff. Go back to these police shootings that happened, and Barack Obama would walk out there before any of the facts had been released, and he would push an anti-police narrative about how it was racism and how black men are being killed by the police and we have to stop this. Before any information was out there, Barack Obama was pushing this nonsense, which led to so much racial tension in this country. We didn't have that type of racial tension back in the 80s and the 90s. We'd moved past that for the most part. Barack Obama brought all of that back to the forefront. All of it.